Welcome back to my channel. In this video we're going to be talking about adding and subtracting polynomials. So I just want to take the time to say keep up the good work, keep working hard, don't give up, don't let math defeat you. You can overcome and you will overcome if you keep working hard and trying. Alrighty, so remember, if at any moment you have any questions, you can always put them in the comments of my videos. I will respond. Okay, so let's talk about adding and subtracting polynomials. So whenever you add polynomials, basically what you want to do is just combine like terms. So when you're adding polynomials, you can drop your parentheses and you can combine like terms. Let's look at some examples. In this first example, we want to add 6x to the third minus 4x squared plus 3 and negative 2x to the third plus 7x squared minus 5. Now, there are two ways you can set up the addition and or subtraction of polynomials. You can set them up vertically or you can set them up horizontally. So I'm going to show you an example of both. So with this first one, I'm going to set it up vertically. That means on top of each other. So I'm going to write this first polynomial. And then I'm going to write the second polynomial underneath it, lining up the terms. So the negative 2x, this should be to, sorry, I wrote this wrong. This should be to the third, and this should be to the second. So this negative 2x to the third would go under here, and this 7x squared would go under here, and this minus 5 will go under here. So when you write it vertically, it's important that you line the like terms together. So now I can add them because these have the same terms. These both have x to the third. So 6 plus a negative 2, which is the same as saying 6 minus 2, is 4x to the third. I can add these because these have the same terms, the x squares. So negative 4 plus 7, that's a positive 3. So that'll be a positive 3x squared. And then 3 minus 5 is a negative 2. And so this will be my final answer. 4x. I keep writing the wrong variable. Exponent. This should be to the third. I don't know why I wrote to the second, but this should be 4x to the third plus 3x squared minus 2. That will be your final solution. In this second example, we want to add polynomials, but this time we have them lined out horizontally, which is side by side. And so whenever they're lined out horizontally, what you want to do is combine. Just write out all your like terms, and you want to make it a habit of starting with the largest term or the largest exponent. So my biggest exponent is x to the third, and this is the only x to the third I have, so there is nothing for me to combine it with. And I like to put a line underneath just to let myself know that I've already taken care of that term. My next exponent would be 2, so x to the second is here. This is the only term I have with the x to the second power, so I have nothing to combine it with. My next exponent would be 1. I'm decreasing my exponents. So the ones that with the terms with the exponent of 1 would be this minus 4x. Because I'm adding, I put a plus sign. But this minus stays in front of this 4. And this positive 5x. So those are like terms, so those will need to be combined. And then the next term would be any constant term or any number by itself, which is the plus 3. So that's the only term I have that is a number. So the x to the third will stay the same. The 2x squared will stay the same. And then minus 4x plus 5x is a positive 1x. And then a plus 3. So whenever you're adding, whether it's vertically or horizontally, all you're doing is combining all your like terms together. So now let's talk about how to subtract polynomials. So subtracting polynomials is really similar to adding, except you have to do one thing first, and that is you have to distribute the negative. Once you distribute the negative, then you can combine like terms. So let's look at some examples. So you can also subtract in either a vertical up and down, or a horizontal format. So I'm going to show you how to do it both ways. In this case, I'm going to first show you how to do it horizontally, side by side. So you would first have to distribute this negative. This negative will change the sign of everything over here. So I can drop these parentheses because there's no sign in front or no number in front. But I would have to change the sign of everything in these parentheses. So this positive 3x becomes a negative 3x. And this negative 8 becomes a positive 8. And so now I would combine my like terms. So 5x and minus 3x are alike. So I will put those together. And then I'll put a plus sign because I'm adding now since I distribute the negative. And then this negative 2 plus 8 is alike. So this negative stays in front of that 2. So 5x minus 3x is 2x. Negative 2 plus 8 is a positive 6. So then your final solution would be 2x plus 6. So this is how you would subtract those polynomials. Okay, in example 4, we're going to subtract 14y to the third minus 6y squared plus 2y minus 5 minus 2y to the third minus y squared minus 4y plus 6. Now I'm going to show you how to subtract vertically in a vertical format. So we're going to write this first polynomial, 14y to the third minus 6y squared plus 2y minus 5. So we're going to write that polynomial first. And then we're going to write this second polynomial, but when we write it, we're going to change the sign of everything in the parentheses. So basically, we're distributing that negative. So this is going to be a minus 2y to the third, a plus 7y squared, a plus 4y, and a minus 6. And so once we change all those signs, then what we end up doing is adding those two polynomials together. So once you distribute the negative, then your operation changed to addition. So basically 14 minus 2, which is 12y to the third, negative 6 plus 7, which is a positive 1. So we would just write plus y squared. 2 plus 4 is 6y, and negative 5 minus 6 is negative 11. And so this is what you get when you add those two polynomials together. And this is the last example we're going to do in this video. So we want to perform the indicated operation. So what we have is a combination of subtraction and addition. So again, you could drop the parentheses if you're adding or if there's nothing in front of the parentheses. So here there's nothing in front of the parentheses, so we'll rewrite this without the parentheses. Now here this is minus, so in order to subtract, I would need to distribute the negative, or in order to drop the parentheses, I would need to distribute the negative. So this will become a minus 2, so I'm changing the signs of everything in here, plus 3x and a minus 5x squared. So this was positive, is now negative. This was negative, is now positive. And this was positive, is now negative. This has a plus sign in front of it, so there's no need to change the signs. I could just drop the parentheses here. All right, so now what I want to do is I want to go through and combine all of my like terms. So I want to start with the biggest exponent. My biggest exponent is 2. So I have this 3x squared. I have this minus 5x squared here, and then I also have this minus 4x squared. So those are considered like terms. My next highest exponent will be 1. So I have this minus x, and I put a plus sign. I always put a plus sign in between the parentheses. The minus will go in with the x. I have this plus 3x, and I have this plus 2x. And then my last terms will be the numbers. So I have the 4 here, the minus 2 here, and the plus 8 here. And so that's why I like to underline, so I'll make sure I didn't leave anything out. I see that everything is underlined. That means I have everything taken care of in these parentheses. So I have 3 minus 5, which is negative 2. Negative 2 minus 4 is a negative 6. So this will be a negative 6x squared. Negative 1 plus 3 is 2. 2 plus 2 is 4. So that will be a positive 4x. And then 4 minus 2 is 2. 2 plus 8 is 10. So plus 10. So this would be the simplified polynomial. So we got this by adding and subtracting these polynomials. So this is how you add and you subtract polynomials. If you have any questions, be sure to include them in the comments below. If this video helped you, if it made sense, then make sure you hit the like button. If it didn't make sense, tell me what part confused you. And if you haven't already, show some love and hit the subscribe button and hit the bell so you can get notifications every time I drop a new video. Thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. Remember, hang in there, don't give up, and I'll see you in the next video.